Okay, guys. So, welcome to the training on the Fidelis Consultants Retention Program. This is one of the unique value adds that we have kind of created over the past couple of years. One of the things that we always strive for is how can we make our agents in our agency lives easier. Really, the value of an upline is trying to take as much administrative load off of you guys, train you guys correctly, so that you guys can optimize your sales. And so this is one key area that we've targeted that we realize upon talking to tons of agents that a lot of agents just don't find time for retention. I know when I was writing a lot of business, it gets very daunting to try to keep up with it all. I know there are some agents out there that do very good with this, but overall, I would say it's a difficult thing to keep up with. So, with that being said, we'll show you what we do and how we can help you implement your own retention program through us. So, let me get started here. So, why spend time on retention? This is kind of a softball question, but honestly, most agents don't even know this, but their attrition rate, so meaning the rates which they lose their clients at, are between 10 to 20% a year. That's not just a number that we throw out there and just say, well, I think that's right. We work with a large CPA firm out of Arizona that analyzes our business on a monthly and annually basis and tells us what our numbers are at, both in a micro and a macro sense. So we know down to each agent what their retention rate is. Right now, with the acquisition of Brokers Assistance, I know there's a lot of the agents in Colorado on this phone call. We still don't have each of your individual rates because we need a couple months of data to really to find out what that is. But in the months ahead, once we get a good sample size, we'll definitely have a much better picture of where each agent falls and what their attrition rate is. So with that being said, that is a pretty high rate, and a lot of agents are surprised by that. Now, that does vary heavily based on what state you're in as well. For states that have a lot of plan choices, there is obviously more of an opportunity for fall off. In states like New Mexico, Colorado, Oklahoma, some of those states where some of you guys are at, there's not as many plan choices, so you don't have as much fall off naturally. So anyways, moving along here, we all know this. It's easier to keep a client than finding a new one. Something that very much surprises me is for those agents that don't get around to retention, they kind of just find themselves in this kind of bottomless pit effect where it's just a cycle every year where they're just basically barely making a little bit more than they did the previous year because they're just barely writing enough business to surpass the clients that they've lost. So this is a huge focus. This will actually give you traction to build upon each year prior. Every one of our retention, well, not everyone I should say, but our retention program also has opportunities for cross-selling and referrals to help automate those processes as well for you. So with that being said, let's move along here. So how can we help you boost your retention efforts? So the number one thing that we're going to talk about in this webinar is the mailing program that we use. And really, we handle all the logistics of mailing your clients for you. And I'll get into that in a minute here. Another thing we can help you with is utilizing carriers' retention programs. A lot of agents are surprised to find out that they can obtain birthday cards, thank you cards, and even sometimes co-op money from different carriers to do their own retention programs branded in the name of that carrier. So that's something we can help you utilize if you would like to do so. So that's just one option to you. And retention isn't all just about mailing. At the end here, I'm going to touch on a couple things that I think every agent should be doing. And we can help sit down with you one-on-one if you'd like to do so and game plan a retention plan that's completely tailored to you. So let's move along here. So this is the Fidelis Mailing Retention Program that we're rolling out to everybody right now. So what it entails, as you can see here, we do 4 mailings a year. Basically, it's one each quarter. Each mailing is a completely unique design. We don't just send a generic piece that just looks like the last piece every time. We try to make it unique, really catch your client's attention where they want to look at what you're sending them, and obviously create opportunities for cross-selling and referrals as well. 2 of the mailings we send will be in a letter format, so envelope with a paper letter in it, and 2 will be a postcard. Now, one thing I want to say about our postcards, for any of you that get junk mail or whatever it may be, you get those postcards in the mail. They're typically about a 4x6 postcard, kind of small. Our postcards that we order, they're all 6x11. They call them the colossal postcards, so they really stand out in the mail. So when your clients get these, especially with your picture on it, it really stands out to them. It's not going to just look like another piece of junk mail to them. So a unique part of this is our value add to this is we basically handle everything outside of shipping and postage. So for you guys, I mean, I should just say postage. So you guys are just in charge of the cost of postage. Now, career agents, if you're on this webinar, this is a little different for you guys, but for brokers, yes, we do ask that you pay for the postage. So once we get everything together, we kind of give you an idea of what your postage is going to cost. We'll send you an invoice and you pay us, and we send up all the mailers. We pay for all the design fees. We handle all of the logistics here in the office. So we coordinate the mailers. We work with the company that we use to do this. We set the date. We have strict deadlines that we abide by to get this all out in a timely manner. And what I'll show you here in a minute is every mailing is tailored to you. This is not a Fidelis, we're putting our phone number, hoping your clients call us by any means. This mailer is going to have your address, phone number, photo, name, everything on it is going to be tailored to you. And the only things that will be on this postcard that that represent Fidelis is our logo, and it will have our website as well. But I'm going to go into some more details about that here in a minute. Okay, so to begin, before I even go into more details, to participate in this program, you have to have a couple things in order to participate. So first of all, you have to have a list of your clients. Obviously, we can't mail them if we don't have their information. So we have a standardized Excel sheet that we plug into our CRM system, which is called Agency Block, that once we plug it in, it automatically sorts all of your clients' address, birth date, everything out, so that we automatically have it in a usable format for this mailing, for these mailings. If you have an Excel sheet and you're saying, I really don't want to have to, mix this all up and put it into this new Agency Block Excel sheet, that's fine. As long as the Excel sheet that you have contains the pertinent information that we need, you can get it to us pretty much in any format, and we can make it work. We also need a professional portrait of you. This is not going to be your Facebook cover photo. We've had agents that wanted to do that before, but honestly, this needs to be a good representation of you to your clients. So it needs to be a professional looking portrait. And it needs to be something that would also represent Fidelis well if we're putting our name on it. And then of course, like I said before, we can't create all your mailers and do everything. And then you say in the end, well, I don't have the money to pay for the postage costs. Obviously, we imagine everybody's going to be able to, but we just want to make sure that you understand that that is part of the program, that you do have the responsibility to pay for those postage costs. Okay, so why participate in it? Well, I think this is kind of intuitive, but it does take the hard work off of your plate. You don't have to worry about all the mailing, and if you guys do this yourselves right now, you know how it is. You have to print out all the letters, you have to stuff them in envelopes, stamp them, write all the addresses on them, or print them on. It's just a lot of work. So we do really just take all of that off your plate. Of course, retention. We've seen agents that have used this in the past. Their rates drop by between 5 to 12%. That's not an exaggeration. That is very true. And I'm going to go into that a little bit more depth here in a couple minutes. Now, obviously, if your retention rate right now is only is already great at 7 or 8%, we're not going to bring it to 0%, but it's scalable. It'll probably go down a couple percent at that point. Cross-selling. So like I said in the beginning, each of these mailers, or at least most of these mailers, will have some sort of cross-selling initiative with them. And don't worry, we're not pressing a hard cross-sell on these, because these are really meant to be more of a thank you / retention piece. But at the same time, since we're in front of them, we're going to give them a message of, hey, did you know that you could couple your plan with this? And you're showing them something that's beneficial to them, and all in the while you're earning the chance to make another commission without even thinking about it. And then this is one thing that we've had agents talk about before. So if since our website is on the mailers, agents say, well, what if my client goes to your website, calls in, or sends an email, sends a message to you guys from that. So I just want everybody to know right now, this program is not at all for the benefit of Fidelis, getting your clients. In fact, we have a legal document, if you would like, that we will sign and you can sign. And it basically protects you, and it basically it holds us accountable to saying we will not take your clients. This retention program is not for our benefit. Basically, it's to help give you value as an agent under Fidelis. So in the case that one of your clients calls in, they go through our website and they call into the office, the staff here is trained that they need to look up anybody that calls in the agency block system. So in our CRM system, it will have all of your clients. And if we search them by name and we pull up, oh, well, that client belongs to Alan, well, we immediately know we need to inform Alan that his client was calling in about getting a hospital indemnity plan or whatever it may be. Everything is going to funnel back to you. We are not, like I said, keeping this for our gain. So here is the mailer, just so you guys know, that we are sending out the first 2 weeks of April. So this is an example of the one that's going out in the second quarter of this year. Now everything in pink here is the information that will be replaced, and your information will be inputted. So like I said, our logo will be on here and our website is on there twice. But everything else is completely tailored towards you. Now, as you see here, for the second quarter mailing that we're doing this year, we have a little spiel about hospital indemnity. So for those of you that aren't super familiar with hospital indemnity yet, well, we have a training on hospital indemnity at the end of this month. So make sure you attend that. We can get you the proper contracts so that if your clients call in to you about this, that we send this information to, you'll be knowledgeable and educated on it. But we have done these mailers before, and I can honestly tell you, you will have clients calling you about this because, like I said, these postcards are huge. They're attention grabbing, and so people really do read the information that's on them, and this will pique your client's interest when they read a little blurb about, they can get their hospital stay covered. All righty, let's move on here. So you kind of know this is kind of what our calendar looks like for the year for our cross-sell themes. So as I told you, in the beginning of April, we're doing a hospital indemnity cross-sell theme. In July, we're going to do a final expense theme. Once again, if you're not super knowledgeable or don't feel comfortable with final expense, we do have a training this month on it, and we have more trainings to come over the next couple months on it to make you feel very comfortable with how to sell it and what final expense entails. Now, September, this is the mailer that's going to have an actual letter envelope. So this one is really where we're going to hit your clients hard before AEP, giving them a very personalized message saying, thank you for being my client this year. And during that personalized letter, we're going to have a blurb or a paragraph that requests referrals and says, hey, if you don't want to switch your plan this open enrollment period, that's great. If you have any friends or family that are, coming on to Medicare or are not happy with their plan, please send them my way. And it's crazy. This last AEP, we had an agent that we did this for, and I think in the end, he got almost 27 or 28 referrals off of this one mailing prior to AEP. So that was worth its weight in gold, just that one single mailer that he did. And then lastly, or I shouldn't say lastly, but the mailer I have on this calendar at least, for January 2019, we don't do a cross-sell theme for January. That's really just all about thank you. Thank you for being my client in 2018, or thank you for becoming my client this year, and appreciate your business. If you have anything you need, reach out to me. Okay, so here is what it's going to cost, roughly. Now, the letter envelope, that cost is probably going to go down. I know a lot of you are probably saying that's not a normal postage cost. That does include a couple more items in there. Excuse me, guys. So we're hoping that cost goes down a little bit. We're working with the company we use to bring that down. But that is what it roughly costs right now, about 50 to 60 cents per letter envelope. And like I said, I already touched on when those go out, and these provide a more personalized touch to your clients. Postcard, we're looking at about 25 cents per postcard, so these are very reasonable rates. I'm going to go into a breakdown of a potential cost for you guys here in a minute. I went into when these will be sent out, and these will really be the ones we really hit on the cross-selling opportunities. Okay, so this page, let's kind of do the math a little bit here. So let's just say you have 300 clients. So I'm not going to go into every equation here, but let's say you did every retention mailing program with us this year. So 300 clients, 60 cents for the letter envelopes, 360 bucks. Postcard mailings, we're looking at about 150 bucks for those two mailings this year. Your total postage cost is about $510 for the year. And let's say your attrition rate right now is kind of in the average of what we're seeing with agents, about 15%. So let's say you may lose about 45 clients this year normally. So you would stand to lose over $10,000 the following year in renewals. But with the expected new rate of attrition through the retention program, you only lose 15 clients this year. You're only losing about over $3,400 roughly. So that's a retention savings of almost $6,800. So the math is pretty simple there. That is a huge savings. It definitely pays for itself and then a lot more. And one thing I note here is we're not even factoring in new referrals or any cross-sell opportunities. So to me, this is a gigantic no-brainer, especially for those individuals that don't have a retention program in place already. Okay, so this is kind of the part where we used to do some of these things as part of a retention program, but we just, I would say, got too big. So we used to try to help our agents with phone calls. Once again, we'd almost need a full-on call center to do that now. So that just wasn't something that was scalable with us. But to be honest, it's a lot more personable if you as the client are doing them yourselves. You as the agent are doing them yourselves. But these are all things that we would like to help you to set up a game plan of how to do that with. So birthday phone calls, birthday mailers, annual review phone calls, and referral phone calls. So all good ideas to help supplement the mailers that we're doing with you. Now the birthday mailers, I put some asterisks next to that because we're going to talk about that here in a minute. That's another potential retention idea we have on the horizon to help you out with that as well. So here we are with the ideas on the horizon. So birthday cards, like I said, this is something where if we can consistently get the data we need for birth dates into our CRM system, we can automate this process where a birthday card gets sent out. Now, there are a lot of companies that do this. This is just something we're offering as a value add. So you guys don't have to go out and do this on your own. You can do all your retention under one roof with us. So that's not implemented yet, but we hope to have it here hopefully in the next year or so added into the retention program. Now, another company that we're really looking into right now is a company, and you can look this up, they're called Bond, and they do personalized handwritten cards. So what they do is they'll take a page or two of sample of your own handwriting, and they have machines that can completely mimic your handwriting. So we give them the message for a mailer, and they will write out a whole entire letter or postcard to your clients in your handwriting. The addresses, everything looks like it was you that hand wrote everything. So really neat service as well. It is a little bit pricey. That's why we haven't implemented it yet, but it's something that we're thinking we may do here too. Birthday emails, this is another thing. If we do birthday cards, this would just go hand in hand. Birthday emails are super easy. It's just an automated thing we can do it within our CRM system. And then once we can scale and grow a little more and get into our new office this year, this is another item we're looking at adding on to the retention program, where we don't do phone calls every year to all of your clients. Like I said, we've just gotten too big where that would take almost a full-on call center, but every year there's at-risk clientele. So if, for example, United Healthcare pulls out of a county with their dual plan, or if Aetna is losing one of their Medicare Advantage plans, things like that, those are your at-risk clients that obviously your focus for AEP or whatever it may be is getting new clients, so it's very difficult for you to get around calling every one of those clients. We're looking at a way where we can hopefully help call those clients with you or for you, so that you can focus on getting new business, and we can help you with setting those appointments. Now, once again, these are all just ideas on the horizon. I don't have a time frame on when any of these are being implemented, but those are ideas we would like to implement in the future. Okay, so to recap here. So if you guys want to participate in the retention program, and if you want to specifically participate in the mailer that's going out the first 2 weeks of April, we need two things here immediately. And I'm very sorry for the short time frame here, but we need the Excel list of your clients, and we need a professional business photo. Now, for those of you that attended the Colorado rollout and you got a professional business photo, we can use that. That's no problem. But those are all the two items we need by this Friday, March 16th, in order to participate in the April retention mailer. As long as we get those items, we'll have everything coordinated. We can get you the invoice for the postage, everything by the end of the month, have the mailer sent out by early April, and you guys will reap the benefits of the retention program. So once you have these two items in place, you just need to email them to Gracia. Now, if it is an Excel list of your clients, since that contains PHI, I just remind everybody to please send that to through secure email. Okay. So with that being said, I'm going to open this up so we can have any questions asked if need be. So I'm going to unmute everybody. Feel free to ask a question if anybody has one.
Zach, what info do you need on the Excel sheet besides name and address?
So I should have mentioned that. That's a great question. So Gracia is going to be mailing out a retention flyer that breaks down the information about the retention program to all of you here within a couple minutes, actually. And it'll break down what items we need on that Excel sheet. It's really just name, address, phone number, and possibly birth date. Oh, and another thing is we have the template that goes straight into our CRM system. So we'll mail that out or email that out to you guys along with that, and it'll just have all the information we need.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions?
Danny, ask a question.
Okay. Well, with no more questions, I'm very much appreciative of everybody attending today. We did record this webinar, so we'll be putting this up on the website in the agent login section. So if anybody wants to rewatch it by any means, you're more than welcome to do so. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to myself or Josh on this, and we will gladly answer any questions you have.
All right, thank
you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Zach.
And your leads that you